Hmm. Let me see. Let me get this so that it's clearer. And let me see if I can get a mic in here because that would be nice, right? Let's see here. There we go. And let's go ahead and get this in place. I just didn't think about setting all this up. Okay. I think this is good. My dog is thinking he has to be a part of this whole process. I don't know why the Okay. Everybody has to be here. Cat, dogs. Okay. So, my name is Cheryl Camarillo. I'm a therapist with over 30 years of experience. More recently, since 2018, I have been a person that specializes in sex addiction and betrayal trauma. And I thought it would be a good time to just share maybe some of the things that I uh, you know, provide as far as education for some of my clients. And so, yeah, let me kind of go through my day. I think the first person that I had in is beginning his journey. So, we actually went through talking about the benefits of using um, Sex Addiction Anonymous and Sex and Porn Addiction Anonymous. When I first introduce that to some of my clients, it becomes really kind of a resistance thing, and nobody really wants to share something as serious as this in a public setting. But there's, one big reason that I suggested, and um, it has to do with get away. It has to do with, having community. One of the, positives for people that, attend support group meetings is that they're around other people that understand what it takes to, start working on their issues. They also have an opportunity to hear how maybe other people deal with, issues that have to deal with, partners, because sometimes they don't say the right things, or they make the wrong decisions when it comes to supporting their partners. Let's see what else. Um, yep. So I also recommended that he look at purchasing "Facing the Shadows," a book by Dr. Patrick Carnes. It has a 30 task model to it, and it's really helpful because it describes the very beginnings of a 12-step program in the first book. And then there's other books along the way that also address other steps in the 12-step program. So, and we just discussed the first chapter, which has to do with identifying that a person all the problems that a person might have because of their addictions. And it can't just be something you know quick and easy, like, hey, it caused problems in my marriage, or um, you know what else. I've disappointed, my family. There's just a variety of reasons why people would wanna, pay attention to or notice, what the problems are related to that. Now, I asked them to expand a little bit deeper, like, since the day you were discovered, hey, have you been more anxious? Have you been, maybe depressed? Have you had any, difficulties with your job? Did you start calling in late? Did you start, having trouble finishing, assignments at work because you were, tired? Did you start creating, fights with your partner in order to, get away from, the family and be able to have time to act out. So those are just kind of the beginning pieces of facing the shadows, and then we just kind of continue to expand. So um, there was that situation. Let's see, the next situation. Um, Another one that I did was a discussion around the idea of brain training and how I use neurofeedback to help calm the nervous system down. And for a person that is working through addiction, their nervous system is on fire, and it's very amped up. And guess what? Precursors are to relapse. It's that they're not managing stress, or they don't have their usual relaxation activities or things that would distract them from maybe the emotional stuff that they were. Oh my. Okay, he's getting booted. All right. This is going to be the strangest stream. Anyway, so I don't even know where. Oh, we were talking about brain training. That's one of the ways that I implement ways to relax or to calm down. It also gives you a chance to um, it's just a variety of things that you get, or the benefits out of neurofeedback. Because if you've had any physical traumas or traumas in your life, I address it with placements back here. If you have emotional stress, then I address it with placements here. If you're the type of person that's ruminating, you can't stop the thoughts over and over, I might do placements here. And by placements, I mean putting sensors here so that the computer can read the brainwave activity and kind of give or nudge your brain to switch up the brain waves into a healthier pathway. And then there's other placements that I kind of check around with to see, if there's anything that could help. If there's an extreme anxiety, I might put some here. There's also some programs that are specifically for resiliency building called Synchrony, and I have another program that's called Alpha Theta. I have a lot of clients that come in and say, I need to start my session with Alpha Theta because it's very relaxing, and it also gives them an opportunity to um, remove the surface level of stressors and go deeper to the subconscious so that they can start doing some problem solving. And that one can last over a few days. So I really like that. Um, yeah, so and that's the other thing. My clients pretty much get to learn to use a variety of interventions, and then as they get more and more comfortable with the different interventions, they might come in and say, "Cheryl, today I've got to start with brain spotting," which is meant to like go in and start looking for ways to discharge the emotions from stressors, or allow your brain to do the problem solving that it needs to do. So, it's like flow of words for brain spotting. EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR is excellent for also looking at specific situations or ways that you manage situations with a consistent, maybe emotional response. Let's see. I also do somatic experiencing. So sometimes you need to have a way to discharge all of the stress that builds up in your body. And so it's on some level, it's like getting your brain and your body to reconnect, because sometimes we stay up in our head thinking all the time, or sometimes our body is doing the things that it wants to do, and it doesn't think things through and use the prefrontal cortex. So, as you can tell, I'm a brain hacker. I really love trying to figure out like what's going to help someone think through addictions. And then, as far as betrayal trauma, when I'm working with women, I really, try to encourage this relaxation. Their nervous system has basically been on fire. They have a form of post-traumatic stress disorder called betrayal trauma. And with betrayal trauma, you really want to calm the nervous system down so that they can start thinking again. Their brain gets hijacked because of the drama and trauma that's been going on in the relationship ever since the day of discovery or the day of disclosure. That's the other thing, day of discovery. The discovery, word, might sound odd to you because it just is consistently used in different places, but day of discovery is the day when you found out that your partner was either, living with a sexual addiction or, there was some infidelity. Maybe, their sex addiction looked like using porn all the time or going through dating apps or stalking people on Facebook, to reach out to women and different things like that, or to reach out to men even. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about those kind of things. Let's see. Yep. So, as far as like helping women, I didn't really have any women today. It's been going down. I usually have, I don't know, a third of my client base is women and children, and then the other part is men. And you're thinking, children, what's the thing about children? Um, I will if I'm working with the family and they describe maybe some situations that are going on with their children, and I think neurofeedback would be beneficial, then I will bring them in to do neurofeedback and not necessarily much counseling involved there. It's more along the lines of getting their little nervous systems down. And, it could be teenagers, it could be young children. I guess the biggest factor is if their kids start having more problems in school while the parents are in the middle of this whole disruption in their relationship, that that can they pick that energy up. And a lot of people like to say, no, we're not, our kids don't know anything that's going on, and they may not know the details, but they feel it. And so I try to really advocate for parents to be aware that being you know age appropriate, straightforward, honest is really beneficial for the kids, and also to address them not feeling like they need to be, involved in the emotional caretaking of either parent, or taking sides with either parent, or, being afraid to talk to either parent. Those kinds of things go on for children, and you don't want to see them in distress, and it carries on to their relationships, maybe in high school, college, adulthood. Um, yeah, if you talk to a lot of the people that I see, they will point out that there was infidelity either, in a parent, or that there was frequent partners, or that maybe they were aware of their parents' use of pornography. So I'm looking at that. What else? This is just kind of the beginning, and I kinda named this, the giving you the tea on betrayal trauma, and that's really what the focus is gonna be here is betrayal trauma. But a lot of women, and men that are dealing with the betrayal trauma wanna understand why. Why did my partner cheat? Why did my partner step outside of the relationship? What was wrong with me? What's gonna happen to me? There just needs to be a number of places where you can ask questions and feel okay about asking them. There's so many out there, and I hope to be able to address questions as they come up. So if you have questions, please go ahead and you can DM me on my Instagram at sharing with Cheryl, same as my channel, sharing with Cheryl. Yeah, just send me a message and I'll look into whatever it is that you're questioning, and if it actually would be beneficial to a lot of other people, I'll take away the pertinent, specific details to your situation and give an overall viewpoint, kind of similar to what I did today. Um, yeah, I think the other case that I worked on is sometimes I work with, teenagers who are trying to understand their sexuality, and so I will do the teaching there. And if you were to talk to a lot of the people that I see, the partners and the person that acts out, you will hear a long history of not being educated in sexuality and still struggling even as an adult, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, understanding like how does a sex life work, and how can you have it be positive. I just put together another channel up under my Google account, because it's going to just be addressing questions, and hopefully I'll be able to bring some of those questions more in depth over here to my lives. But this is just the beginning. I don't know how often I'll be doing this, but it's kind of going to be at the end of the day when I can do a review of what all work did I do today. I also want to look at some of the stresses and struggles of just having a practice. And as a therapist, it's not really to not show up as a human being can be very upsetting, and I just like to be real. Maybe that should be the name of my channel, Cheryl the Real. But anyway, I think I was coming up with another title like Honestly Cheryl. But so here we go, Friday night lives, and um, like I said, send me any questions. I look forward to hearing or reading about these, and I'll not sure when my next stream is, but maybe I'll have all my pets put away so you don't have cattails and dog barking and stuff like that. So thank you and have a good night. Stop it, Jackie.